Welcome back, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Konnichiwa. Hello. And we are doing part 2 of expanding triple brackets. So this is where we left off, which is question 5 of 10. This is from paper 2, November 2023. This is our question. Zoom in a bit more. Get better focus. Oops. Okay, so same as before where we left off. Expand and simplify x plus 7, x take away 2 times x plus 3. So x plus 7 times x take away 2 times x plus 3. And these are our steps. So remember, step 1 is to expand two brackets. We find 4 terms, we simplify it. Then our step 2 is to, with our answer, multiply the third bracket. We get 6 terms and then we simplify. So let's do that. So here you can see I've got x plus 7, x take away 2, x plus 3. Now I am going to be working with the positives first. So you can do it in any order, but I am going to stay with my positives. So x plus 7, x plus 3. Okay, so I now multiply these out. So I'm going to have x plus 7 times x plus 3 and so I've got x times x, which is x squared, x times 7, which is 7x, plus 7x, 3 times x is 3x, so plus 3x, 3 times 7 equals 21, plus 21. And now I've got my x squared here. And if I look at this, the next one closely, this is an x term, which is 3x plus 7x. So 3x plus 7x gives me 10x. So this is plus 10x. And then I have the last term here, which is 21. So that's my step 1. I've expanded two brackets. I got 4 terms and I simplified. Now I am going to take my answer and I'm going to multiply it with the third bracket, which is x minus 2. I'm going to get 6 terms and then I'm going to simplify. So I'm going to have here x squared plus 10x plus 21 times by x minus 2 is the thing that I haven't multiplied yet. So I'm going to have x squared plus 10x plus 21 times by x take away 2. So I've got x times x squared, which is x cubed. X times 10x is 10x squared. X times 20 is 21x, positive. I've got minus here. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. Negative and a positive gives me a negative. 2 times 10 is 20x. 2 times 21 is 42. Negative and a positive gives me a negative. Sorry, why did I do that? Okay, so now I'm going to be collecting my like terms. This is x cubed. The next one is x squared. Oops, my pen goes flying. So I've got minus 2x squared plus 10x squared. So 10x squared take away 2x squared gives me 8x squared. So this is plus 8x squared. And then I'm going to have my x term. So this is minus 20x plus 21x. And so I'm going to get 21x minus 20x gives me 1x. So I can write x by itself or 1x, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to write plus 1x, and then I've got my last term here, which is minus 42. Okay, now some of you may be thinking, why am I using the grid? Again, it's really clear. I've got 4 terms here. I get my method mark, and then I have my follow through. Whatever my answer is, multiplying by the third bracket, I get 6 terms here. As long as I have half of these correct, I get my second method mark. So I get 2 marks out of 3. And that's what's important, because in the exam, you can make silly errors. Hopefully, by doing this grid, I'm less likely to make mistakes. So I hope that's clear. And well done if you've got this correct. Now we move on to the next question. And if you are here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Let's move on to the next question. And this question is now our 6th question out of 10. This is from paper 3, November 2018. Press pause and have a go. When you're ready or when you're stuck, press play for the answer. Alternatively, you can just follow me. So let's make a start. So again, similar to before, so expand and simplify x take away 2 times 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. So the difference with this question is I've got 2x plus 3 here. So I've got another little term here. But again, it's the same steps as before. Expand 2 brackets, simplify, take my answer, multiply it with the third bracket. I get 6 terms and I simplify. So it's the same process as before. So we're going to do that again. Now again, when I look at this, I'm going to keep it easy. I'm going to start with the easier terms. So I'm going to take x take away 2 times by x plus 1. And again, I'm going to use my grid method. You can use whatever method you are familiar with, but I highly encourage using the grid method because you are less likely to make a mistake. So x minus 2 times x plus 1. And we've got x times x, x squared, x times 2, 2x, and you've got a negative. 1 times x, 1x, so plus 1x. 1 times 2 is 2, positive, and a negative gives me a negative. Now I simplify this, x squared, I've got I'll use a different color, minus 2x plus 1x equals to minus 1x. 1 take away 2 is minus 1. So this is minus 1x. And then I've got the last part here, minus 2. And now I multiply this, x squared minus 1x take away 2, with my third term, which is 2x plus 3. And so again, I draw my grid. I'm going to have x squared minus 1x take away 2 times by 2x plus the 3. And now I can get my 6 terms. 2x times x squared is going to be 2x cubed. 2 times 1 is still 2. Then we deal with the sign positive, and a negative gives me a negative. 2 times 1 is still 2. X times x is x squared. Positive and a negative gives me a negative. 2 times 2 is 4, and I've got my x. Then I've got 3 times x squared, 3x squared, and it's positive. Positive and a negative gives me a negative. 3 times 1 is 3x. Positive and a negative gives me a negative. 3 times 2 gives me 6. And so now I look for my like terms. This is just 2x cubed. 2x cubed. I've got minus 2x squared plus 3x squared, minus 2x squared plus 3x squared. Or 3 take away 2 is 1x squared. So this is just plus 1x squared or x squared. And then I've got my next term, which is minus 4x take away 3x. Minus 4x take away 3x gives me minus 7x. And then the last bit here, which is negative 6. And that's my final answer. So well done if you've got the same answer as me. Well done to you. Let's go on to the next question. Okay, this is now paper 2, November 2019. Okay, here is the next question. Press pause and have a go. Or when you're ready, you can press play for the answer, or you can just follow with me. Okay, so this question says expand and simplify 3x squared times 2x plus, let me say that, 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 1 times x take away 5. So again, we've got slightly harder from the first few questions that we've done, but the same process again. So reminding you, the same process, expand 2 brackets, we'll get 4 terms, we simplify. Then with our answer, we multiply it with the third bracket, we get 6 terms, and then we simplify. So let's do it. Okay, so here I've got negatives there. I'm going to keep it simple by expanding the positive ones. So I'm going to do 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 1. And so I'm going to have 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 1. Okay, now I'm going to expand these. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2 times 2 is 4, so plus 4, and we've got the x. 1 times 3x is just 3x, so it's positive, and 1 times 2 is still 2. And now I collect my like terms. 6x squared stays as it is. I've got 3x and 4x. 3x plus 4x gives me 7x plus 7x. And then I've got plus 2 there. Okay, so that's my simplified answer. Now I'm going to take that, 6x squared plus 7x plus 2, and I'm going to multiply it with my third term, which is x minus 5. And now I draw my grid, 6x squared plus 7x plus 2 multiplied by x take away 5. And the rest is quite straightforward, hopefully. This is our 7th question, so hopefully you're going to get faster and better at this. 6x cubed, x times x is x squared, so 7x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Got negative, and a positive gives me a negative. 5 times 6 is 30, x squared. Negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35 rather, not just 7. 5 times 7 is 35, and then x. Negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 2 is 10. And now we simplify like we did before. So I've got my 6x cubed Then I've got my x squared terms, 30, negative 30, x squared plus 7x squared. That gives me negative 23x squared. So minus 23x squared. And I've got my next one, which is my x terms. 2x take away 35x gives me minus 33x. And then I have my last term here, which is minus 10. Hopefully you've got that right. Well done if you have. Remember to like the video. Let's go on to our next question now. Our 8 of 10 exam questions. If you're enjoying this, you're learning, share it with your friends. All right, so this is our 8th out of 10 questions. This one is from paper 3, June 2020. Okay, and let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and this question here. Expand and simplify exactly similar to before. X take away 3 times 2x plus 3 times 4x plus 5. Press pause and have a go. When you are ready, press play, or if you're stuck, press play. Or you can follow me. So let's get started. So again, similar to before, I'm going to look at my question. I've got a negative and a positive. Let's start with the positives. I don't want to deal with negatives. So I'm going to do 2x plus 3 times by 4x plus 5. So I'm going to have 2x here plus 3 times by 4x plus 5. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x is x squared. 4 times 3 is 12. 4, 8, 12. And we've got x. 5 times 2 is 10, so plus 10. And we've got x there. 5 times 3 is 15, and both of them are positive, so we've got positive. So this is 8x squared, 10x plus 12x gives me 22x. And then I've got 15 here. And so now this becomes 8x squared plus 22x plus 15 multiplied by the term that I haven't multiplied with is x take away 3. Okay, and don't worry, if you've done differently to my first two brackets, that's okay. Your final answer will be the same. So I'm now going to draw my grid. 8x squared plus 22x plus 15 multiplied by x take away 3. So that's my grid, and now I just fill it in. X times x, 8x squared, so x times x squared is x cubed, so it's 8x cubed. They're positive. X times 22x becomes 22x squared. This is plus 15. 15 times x is 15x. Now we've got a negative and a positive, gives me a negative. 3 times 8, 8, 16, 24, and it's x squared. Negative and a positive is a negative. 3 times 22, 2 times 3 is 6, so it's 66x. It is a calculator paper, so you can use your calculator as well. Negative and a positive is a negative. 3 times 15, 15, 30, 45. And now I look for my like terms. I've got 8x cubed. I've got minus 24x plus 22x. That gives me 22 take away 24 gives me minus 2. So that's minus 2x squared. Then I have got my next one, which is plus 15x take away 66x. So that is 15 take away 66. That gives me minus 56. Take away 1 is minus 51. So that's minus 51x. And then the last part here, take away 45. All right, well done if you got the same answer. And you can see just by looking, this is the method mark, this is another method mark. If you do make any mistakes, you get 2 out of 3 marks. That's why this grid method is so powerful. I used to be a skeptic of this method. And then when I looked at the mark scheme, I remember getting training, and it just became a no-brainer using the grid. All right, let's go to our next question. Okay, this is our penultimate question. So this is question 9 out of 10, and this one is from paper 2. So we're allowed to use a calculator of November 2021. Press pause and have a go. When you're ready, press play, or you can just follow me as I go through this question. So with this question, if I look at this, I've got x minus 2, 3x plus 2, and I've got 2x plus 3. So I'm going to keep it simple. I don't want to deal with negatives, so I'm just going to multiply the positives together first. So 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 3. So that's what I'm going to choose. And remember my steps. Expand 2 brackets. I'm going to get 4 terms, simplify. Then with my answer, I'm going to multiply it with the third bracket. I'm going to get 6 terms, and I simplify. So that's the step. So 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 3. Okay, now I do 2 times 3, which is 6x times x squared. 2 times 2 is 4, so plus 4, and then I've got the x term. 3 times 3 is 9, so it's positive 9, and I've got the x there. 3 times 2 is 6, and that's it. I don't have any x terms there. Now I simplify. 6x squared. I've got 9x plus 4x gives me 13x. Then I've got my last term plus 6. Now I've got my answer. I'm going to multiply my answer, 6x squared plus 13x plus 6. I'm going to multiply that with my third term, which is x minus 2. And so I've got 6x squared. Turn this into a grid. 6x squared plus 13x plus 6 times by x take away 2. And now I just fill in the grid. So x times x squared is x cubed. So this is just 6x cubed. X times x is x squared here. And I've got plus 13 there as well. I've got 6 times x is 6x. Negative and a positive is a negative. 2 times 6 is 12x squared. Negative and a positive is a negative. 2 times 13 is 26. I've got the x term there as well. A negative and a positive is still a negative. 2 times 6 is 12. So my like terms, this is 6x cubed. I've got my x squared terms. 13 take away 12 gives me 1, so it's plus 1x squared. And then I've got my x term, 6x take away 26, so that's going to give me minus 20. x, and then my last term here, minus 12. So that is my final answer. I hope you got the same answer there as well. Well done if you have. And let's go to the last question of today, and this is from paper 3, June 2022. We're going to ignore part A because that's not relevant. This is relevant. So part B, show that m plus 4 times 2m take away 5 times 3m plus 1 can be written in the form am squared plus am cubed plus bm squared plus cm plus d, where a, b, c, and d are integers. So you can see it's the same format. All these questions are very, very similar or almost identical. So hopefully you feel very, very confident. This is our last and final question of today. And hopefully this should be ingrained in your mind. We need to expand two brackets, simplify with our answer, multiply the third bracket, then we simplify. All right, let's go. So I look at this. Again, I don't want to deal with negatives at the beginning, so I'm going to leave that for later. So I'm going to do m plus 4 times 3m plus 1. M plus 4 times 3m plus 1. And again, if you've not done this, don't worry. Your final answer will be the same as mine, hopefully. M plus 4 times 3m plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to do 3m times m is 3m squared. 3m times 4, so 3 times 4 is 12 plus 12m. 1 times m is 1m, so plus 1m. 1 times 4 is 4, so plus 4. Now I simplify. 3m squared. This is an m term and an m term, so 12 plus 1 is 13m. And then I've got the plus 4 there. So that's my simplified version. Now I go on to step 2. My answer, 3m squared plus 13m plus 4 multiplied by the term I haven't used is 2m, take away 5. Draw my grid now. 3m squared plus 13m plus 4 times 2m, take away 5. Okay, now 2m times 3m squared, so 2 times 3 is 6. M times m squared is m cubed. 2 times 13 is 26. M times m is m squared. 2 times 4 is 8. Got my m term there. Now I'm dealing with negatives, so negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 3 is 15. M squared. Negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 13. 5 times 13, what is that? You can use a calculator. I'll just write it down. 5 times 13 is the same as 10 times 13, which is 130, and then we half that, so 50, 65. So 65m. Negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 4 is 20. Now I simplify. I've got 6m cubed. I've got minus 15 plus 26 m squared. So 26 take away 15 is going to be plus 26 take away 10 is 16, take away 5 is 11. So 11m squared. Then I've got my m term, minus 65 plus 8m. That gives me minus 60, take away 3 is 57, so minus 57m. And then I've got my number term, minus 20. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Well done if you got everything correct. Well done. Subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.